It's cold, but you can't feel it. There's a hunger that has just recently been satiated. Dragging behind you, Lampwick, is the ruined remains, the carcass of a deer. There's steam rising off of the gore and the intestines as they drag behind you. The dead surround you. They wrap across the forest like a wave. Hundreds of animated corpses at your beck and call, your command, dragging themselves along the path that has been set for them. This path is a trap. You knew that right away when the armored forces that have surrounded Babylon now for months allowed you and your children to only leave through that one gap. This road leads to Pinehaven. You remember that well. You're clear enough of mind. And above you, again, a bright burst. Like clockwork, for an entire hour after sunset, these fireworks light up the sky over the Pin region. A bright burst of beauty that flares against the velvet fields of night.
I'm gonna drag the carcass of this deer into the center of my group, my horde. And I'm gonna kneel down to its throat and I'm gonna sink my teeth into it.
Your body is different. It's different. You're different. You kneel down, there's something animalistic that overtakes you. In a blur, you rip the throat from the carcass, spraying gore across yourself and those that are around you, shambling dead. They watch you.
And in the now ripped open part of this animal's neck, I'm going to conjure the thing inside me, and I'm gonna try to pump into it. It's like I'm gonna throw up into it the bile that I know flows inside of me, filling it with that part of myself.
Your face splits open. Your jaw breaks apart like an insect as a tear works its way down your bare chest. You're wrapped in gauze and black cloaked rags. But underneath, you're completely naked. And your body, your chest, opens. And a mass of writhing tentacles splay out as black bile erupts across this deer, spraying it with your own life blood. And while you do feel weakened, this meal for your children now awaits them.
I step back. And I say to them, feed.
These dead descend upon the corpse and tear it apart. And as they do, you know your connection to them is growing stronger. And as the swarm drops down, all of them ripping mouthfuls of the flesh, gorging themselves on what you have left behind, you watch. Your eyes are always black now. They don't bear any of the humanity that they once did. You don't see things the way that you used to. Everything's a blur of colors, red and orange and blue. The living glow brightly, and you can see them from miles away, like the stars in the sky. The last remaining survivors of this world.
I can see them.
In the far distance, as you look out from the tree line, you see Pine Haven and these small pinpoints of glowing bright light as they patrol the rooftops, as they patrol the lots in front of the sprawling shopping center, now a fortress bolstered by the citadel. And you hear the sound of a helicopter as a spotlight works its way across, and then another burst as the blue star explodes again. And your children stop and look. And then something in you breaks. As Providence dies somewhere. You feel as if part of you has been severed. And that strange, hideous child that lived in the attic of the caretaker's house, bonded to Polly Pocket, you know she's dead. She's gone.
I look at the children that I have in front of me, and I start to move among them, and I look at their faces, or whatever's left of them, and I try to kind of extend my senses to those that have gone ahead, those stalkers that had gone ahead to scout, and any of the other ones that I had sent off that I felt some sort of a connection to. Just making sure that no other ties have severed. And I think to all of them, this is war! As I prepare them to fight.
At first, it washes through them like a rock dropped in a pond. As the dead begin to howl, and the entire herd in unison cries out at the death of one of their own. Your agony, your rage is funneled through them as you now know you are connected. All of you, the dead, are one and the same.
I look towards Pine Haven and at those stars of the living, and I march forward.
I'd like you to make a spot listen with 3 dice of difficulty added to it. But then we have something else that we need to talk about.
Okay, where are we?
Oh,
Well,
it was a 0.
It was.
Would you like it to be?
It doesn't matter. It is a 69 with that, which is...
Nice. Got it.
Yep. That is 2 degrees of failure.
It's so early, but with 2 degrees of failure, you're not able to spot anything at all. Would you like to utilize some of your own competency or some of the competency that has been gifted to you and the others?
How much are in the pool?
Currently, there are 10 competency points in the pool.
Yeah, I'm gonna use
I've been given 17 risk.
Okay, 2 degrees of failure. I'll use 3 from the pool and 1 of my own to make it 2. successes.
I mean, I did that last week. Hello, everyone.
Yep.
You are encouraged to use these as quickly as possible because the others may do the same.
Right.
So that is now 2 degrees of success.
Yes.
There is someone. Something about them. Something about the flicker of their light. It's strong and independent, fierce, angry, focused, and it glows brighter than many of the others. Smaller, but more powerful. Somehow you know it's faith.
I head in that direction and keep that light pinpointed. And I send my scouts to get a closer look.
From the trees, these mutated, dead hounds, they're called, begin leaping and bounding. Their dark forms, sinew and elongated flesh as they claw and rake and growl as featureless faces now smoothed over with the decayed flesh that wraps around them like armor. They pounce and charge through the forest towards Pine Haven. Lampwick. There's a candle before you. This candle that burns now is very important to you. It is a representation of the humanity that you have left within you. You have embraced the changes, and your viral track is full. There is no turning back. And so when this candle burns out, there is nothing of the man that was once known as Lampwick left. This candle is a representation of everything your character will ever be. And when it is gone, irrevocably, so is Lampwick. Your character then belongs to me entirely. You will succumb to this thing that you find yourself changing into. As long as it burns, your humanity remains. But if that candle ever goes out during gameplay, then I take control until it is lit again. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah.
Do you have any questions for me?
No. How does it get relit?
There are matches that I have given to Achira. 3 of them.
Okay. Okay.
Protect your candle. Above you, faith, the blue star explodes. The fireworks that have been created as a beacon to all those that survive within the Pin region. This area has been beset. It has been warred upon and divided, nearly destroyed by the dead, by the hand of Malachi, and by those that sought to break away from the protective arms of the Citadel. This place, Pine Haven, you and Riggs have designed it to be a last stand, to be a bastion of hope in this place. And in the week that this beacon has been set, and at night, every night, for a full hour, it explodes in the sky, people have come. Refugees and wanderers have welcomed the opportunity to join you. Pine Haven, the shopping center that you now reside in, that you now control, has been transformed into a heavily armored fortress. The numbers have swollen, given that you have been able to not only bring in all of these refugees, but Riggs, your mentor, has sent more soldiers from the Citadel proper. And while the home front is protected, Pine Haven now contains the majority of the force of the Citadel completely under your control. Here, you are general. You are commander. All defer to you. The power of the armed forces that have been consolidated here give you command of 150 warm bodies. On the outskirts of Pine Haven, as you look out over the shattered concrete lots, fenced in is a sprawling complex that has been constructed of a number of makeshift encampments, sea containers and tents that hold all of the people that you have brought in. This suburb is a protective circle. The people here that you've brought in are well armed, well fed, and safe. They're receiving training, but you can't trust them all. You know that. You've been betrayed far too many times in this wasteland. Inside the complex, the dead have been fully cleared, and the weaknesses that you and Achira were unable to manage with your meager resources no longer matter. The Pine Haven community has been reinforced, rebuilt. It is fully occupied by soldiers on patrols. You're standing on the roof. You're looking out at the darkness, and you're watching as a horse, led by a beleaguered-looking middle-aged man and a pregnant woman, are led through the gates. Another refugee. What do you do?
I head down to inspect them myself.
You move down. A series of ladders on the outskirts of the roof allow you to do so very quickly. Those ladders are immediately pulled back up. All the walls have been fortified with metal. There's no windows. The doors are heavily guarded, reinforced. This is, for all intents and purposes, a castle. One that anyone who tried to easily invade it would find themselves at a loss. And so you walk across this shattered concrete as the soldiers all salute you as you pass. You hear radio contact from Sergeant Baxter, who manages the comms. Boss, you know what you're up against, right? You know what you're doing?
You mean this man, this horse, and this pregnant woman?
No, I mean, you're putting yourself out there again. You're out in the open, hanging wild. We don't know. The tree lines, we found those dissidents not so long ago. There could be more. You know, a sniper rifle aimed in the right place, this whole thing goes down.
I appreciate your concern, but if you would just do your fucking job correctly, then maybe I wouldn't have to worry about getting shot by someone.
Of course. You got it.
I'll be a minute.
So you continue to walk towards this small grouping that's just passed through the gates. And the soldiers have already led them in, and they are inspecting the bags. They've helped the woman down. She's now standing there, holding on to her enlarged stomach. I mean, she looks like she's very far along. Her hair is tightly pulled back, and the man next to her kind of looks at you as you walk up.
I take my gun out, hold it in my hand as I walk towards them. Welcome to the Citadel. Why do you come?
Hello. We heard on the road that you are taking people in. We don't have anything to give you, but I'm good with my hands. I can mix up concrete, and I can chop wood. My wife, Marceline here, is very much along the way, and we don't think she'll make it without a doctor. Do you have a doctor?
We have everything at the Citadel. This is a haven for humanity. And we sent that beacon out so that people would come, and they have, and so have you. Tell me, where do you come from?
Well, the breadbasket, we had a bigger group that we were living amongst. There were 12 of us. We did pretty well. You know, we managed to take a little valley between some of the hills on the far side of the Allegheny and use it to our advantage. I mean, the dead couldn't get to us. We had it walled off real good. But Rag and Bone came through.
Really? Not to trade?
We thought they wanted to trade, but well, they ended up just taking everything, and
well, consider that your lesson learned. Not to trust them. I've dealt with them before. That whole organization has gone sour. We created this place so that people could be safe and live freely, with some restrictions, of course, to keep everyone safe. All we ask is that you are loyal to us and that you do the work that needs to be done around here to keep our community going. Without question.
I won't question anything, ma'am. I just want a safe place for me and my family.
Tell me, how did you and your very pregnant wife survive when nobody else from your little community did?
He looks ashamed. Marcy reaches up and grabs his shoulder and pulls him close, and she looks at you. There's a ferocity in her eyes. She meets yours, bravely. We hid. We hid and watched them die, and we did nothing about it. But we're here.
Fine. You're survivors. I respect that. But if it comes down to a fight here, we need you to stand and fight with us. Or you'll be shot where you stand. Soldier, take them to the re-education area.
The soldiers immediately move them over into a series of tents where they are integrated into your community. It's dark. The beacon has been firing now for a while. It's getting close to the end of the hour. Somewhere in the distance, you hear a howl, like 1,000 hungry dead groaning all at once. It's far away, but you know that sound. It's a large swarm.
I hop on the radio and I speak loudly so everyone around me can hear. This is your commander. We need to lock down all entrances, send snipers out, and get the artillery ready, just in case. We have a large swarm heading towards us now. Expect the worst. Get everyone inside.
From the generators, red lights begin to flash across the walls and turn. The beacon stops firing, and you see many of the soldiers snap to attention and begin to move into their necessary patrols to protect the walls. They decentralize the central area in front of Pinehaven and begin to move themselves around the perimeter protectively. Many of the new recruits, the refugees that have been gathered, join in, but they form a defensive line between themselves and Pinehaven proper. This isn't the first time you've dealt with the dead. Firing these fireworks up into the air has drawn them. But there's something about that groan doesn't sit well with you. Something about that groan seems like so much more than what you have dealt with in the past. It's something in your gut, Faith, that twists.
I turn to some soldiers, to whoever's listening. Never forget why we protect this place. So we can live, so we can be human. Glory to the Citadel!
Hurrah! The soldiers shout. The Reclamation Front has been formed, and the flags that hang across Pinehaven are the stars and stripes with the Citadel skull and blade emblazoned across the front of them. They whip wildly in the night air as the fat ladies begin to sing. 2 large artillery cannons fire into the direction of the groans, lighting the sky up with artillery fire. Cain. Small twisted body in your arms weeps black bile across your lap and your chest. Providence is dead. Her head, a gaping hole with the barest mention of a neck or jaw remaining. The cavity of her skull is splayed out before you, and most of its contents lie at your feet. She was the most hideous and terrifying thing that you've ever encountered. But in her own way, she loved you. She protected you. Her otherworldly abilities, strange as they were, they allowed you to be able to hear again. And now, without her, you're permanently and completely in silence. The explosion that nearly killed you left you this way. When Kusanagi nearly murdered you in his insane attempt to turn you against the Pinehaven survivors. But you're covered in black bile. You're underneath the floorboards of this porch on this road. A small, perfect little town that you found. A little too perfect. That's where the specters sprung the trap. The wild children, the ferals that you commanded, are now all unconscious. They've been tranquilized. And then the armored figure that seems to be standing in the road before you, the one that killed Providence, is singing to you. Singing a song from a forgotten era. And you know immediately who it is. What do you do?
I clutch Providence a little closer to me. I can't hear the music anymore. But I scream out from my location under the porch, Achira! Achira!
Achira in your white armor. You hear through the amplified speakers, Polly. Her voice rings out from underneath, calling your name. You then hear Spectre 8. 13, awaiting orders.
Drag her out from underneath there, douse her, disarm her, bottle the thing that she's holding.
Affirmative. Like clockwork, these white armored individuals with skull masks appear, and they rip the floorboards off and grab you and pull you out. Do you fight against this?
I don't fight against it, but as they pull me out, I look towards the one that I know to be Achira, and I say, please just listen to me, okay? Please, please, please.
Make sure none of the black bile gets anywhere near her mouth or eyes.
They hold you onto the ground in the road, Polly, and one of them produces this strange canister. It looks like a fire extinguisher from the old world, but it's metal, and it has this long tube at the end of it, but immediately it blasts hot water across you. It smells like it burns your nose and it burns your skin and your eyes as they spray this across you, ripping the jacket from your back. They throw it into the road.
Achira, just stop it for 1 second and let me talk to you for once.
Is she clear of it? Is she clear of the thing, and is she clear of the bile?
Shivering, now cold and wet, in the middle of the road, these specters pull back, the two of them. There are others you see now, Cain, on the rooftops. You see some of the other wildlings that you brought here being pulled out of the street.
No, please leave them for one second. Achira.
13, they're clear.
Be careful with them. Take them to the location we discussed before. They will not be a part of what happens next.
Affirmative.
Give me my pack.
One of the specters gives you a pack.
Achira faces Polly.
I need you to understand right now. First of all, I know it was you. I know that it's you, okay, because I could hear you, Achira. And you know that I couldn't hear you before, right? So something was different, and it has changed now because I can't hear you anymore. So I need you to please listen to me and do what I'm asking you, okay? Don't take them, don't move them, please. Just call them off.
You watch from the side as Providence's body is encased in a plastic bag, and it's sealed as air escapes from it, pulling close to the corpse. As the gore and the remains of that small, strange child are encased in this clear plastic and then put into a black bag as two of them carry it away.
And Cain is crying. And you have never seen her cry, not even at the stadium. Achira, please. I can't hear you, but I can see what you're doing. Please do this one thing for me. If you have ever cared about me, just leave them for 1 second.
Achira's going to remove her helmet.
A breach of protocol?
Looking over at 8, she says, she has to see my lips moving. She doesn't understand how to sign or how to know about signing yet. So I'm going to have to remove my helmet so that she understands.
If you do this, 13, you know that it means that you're going to be put back through isolation.
After all of this is done, then I will be put back through isolation. Otherwise, my helmet will go back on and we'll continue our mission as planned. I just simply won't take it off around any of you.
You know, Achira, that means that effectively, if you go back to Steel City, you're going to have to go back through a period of containment, isolation, and observation all over again. It took you 3 weeks before.
What Achira is thinking of with this is that they're on mission. So in the sense with this, it'd be if she takes off this helmet to talk with Polly, that she'll just keep the helmet on to keep everything contained within. So after the mission is completed, still going forward and trying to get a hold of Lampwick. But when or if they then go back to Steel City afterwards, then is when she'd have to go through quarantine again.
Absolutely, we're on the same page there. So it will happen when you return to Steel City and not before. They're not going to put you through another isolation now, obviously. But when you return, if you choose to go back into Steel City, back to the research facility in Project Nero, they'll require you to be sanitized all over again. And 3 weeks of isolation will be the price for taking off your helmet even once out here. That's it. I just wanted you to be sure before Achira removes this helmet that you know what it means.
There's literally no other way for Polly to hear or be able to communicate back with her. Achira steps forward. She hasn't removed her helmet just yet. Holds the pack over to Polly. And Polly would see the figure looking at her and then points to the side of the head as in, I'm listening, and then holds the pack out to Polly.
I don't want your pack. I want you to leave my people alone. Do that, and then we will talk.
Achira holds the pack out more forcefully, as in, take the pack.
I reach out. Take it. What's in it?
A long time ago, when Achira was going through was with DT and Sugar 1.0, and they were going to collect things out of Claire's, and Achira had a series of leather jackets. She gave DT one of them that wasn't tailored and everything fit, and then she took one that she had basically tailored for Polly and had attached patches to. In that pack are rations, something to, like, you know, matches, MRE kind of a thing, and that jacket.
We came here to save you from them. And you take them all out. You put them into the ground, and then you give me this. No, listen to me, Achira. Do what I ask. Respect me for once in your goddamn life. I don't want a jacket. I want you to hear me.
Achira takes off her helmet.
The vacuum seal is broken. You remove the white skull helmet from your head, and you take your first breath of the wild in 3 months.
Polly sees that Achira has kind of stubble situation going on her head. She's looking directly at Polly and says, I knew that you would come. If not you, them, Bebe, TV, and so on. You will not be a part of this. Well, they will not be a part of this. These politics, this skirmish over everything that doesn't matter. What matters is the human race. What matters is that we make it out of here alive. There's a cure.
Achira, stop. Stop. What? They have a cure? Huh? Them?
Yes.
Stop.
We have a cure. We have the means to one.
Achira. I have spent so long with you, with walls, with echoes. And I've learned a lot of things while I've been there, and the whole time I have been faithful to you. I have lost everything for it. I have lost safety. I have lost my entire family, my hearing, everything to protect you and what you wanted to build. But you know what I realized? Is that all of you behind your walls, you're gonna make your promises and you're gonna think that you're gonna find solutions, but the end line is that you just keep killing us, Achira. Every time we are under you, we die. You think we want to be involved in any of this shit that you have going on? No, we just want to live. So just let us go. The only reason we came here was to help you one last time.
So, you were thinking of me when you swore allegiance to Lampwick. You were thinking of me
I never
when
swore
you were
allegiance to Lampwick,
and to
Achira.
his strange fruit. You were thinking of me when you did not send word, when you were in that camp for weeks. You were thinking of me during all that time. You were thinking of me when I showed up for you. You were thinking of me when you were attached to that thing, that killer thing.
About you.
You just said
Or
it was about me. You know what? The cure means no walls. The cure means that someone gets bit, then they're like me. They don't have to worry about turning. The cure is freedom. I'm doing this for everyone. We're doing this for everyone. So there won't be walls. So there won't be people having to side with the Citadel. Where people can live free and clear of the fear of this. This is beyond you. This is beyond me. This is beyond Lampwick, our Faith, our Abigail, our Juniper, even Olive. This is for everything. You have a choice. You can promise to stay out of my way, and you can go your own way. Our wild children are getting taken to a location. They'll be released there without walls, but just far enough away that they won't be in the middle of whatever is about to happen next. If you promise to to leave us alone, you can walk out on your own 2 feet right now. Or you can help. I know that you also have a very deep attachment to Lampwick. If you decide to help to get Lampwick back his humanity so that he can help be the other part of this cure for all of us, we could use your help.
You are never going to get it. How useless the promise of an echo is.
Well,
Whatever you're doing, Achira, you don't have all the information. And only I have it. So, you're gonna really fuck things up if you go forward the way that you're gonna go forward.
Well, you just said that you wouldn't help me, that I could not expect your help.
That was when I didn't think that you were taking my people away.
I'm releasing your people back into the wild and out of the thick of battle. My people.
They are not your people, Achira. You got them killed every second that you were with them. You tried to make them into something that they
People
weren't.
die, Polly.
Achira,
People die, and I, of all people, know this.
I am done
You have
with your
any
prophesying. Do you want my
idea?
deal or not? Your plan will fail if you do not have my information.
Oh, now you're going to help. Now you've decided.
If
Well, go
you
ahead.
agree to my terms.
No, I don't. If you don't want more of our people to die, then tell me the information. If you want to withhold that information, then I guess their blood is on your hands.
My blood is on. Their blood is on none of my hands, Achira. You know why? Because wild children don't start these fights.
Why do you think I'm taking mine out of it?
If you had given them a chance to speak, they would tell you that they do not follow you anymore. But you didn't give them that chance, Achira.
I didn't want them to follow me. Not to this. So they're being taken somewhere else. Polly, do you have...
My name is not Polly. It's Cain.
Cain, do you have any information that you want to share to make this go better than you think that it will? If you don't, then I think our conversation is at an end.
No. You go have fun, Achira.
Tase her. Take her to the second location.
One of the white armored figures behind you takes a step, Cain. What would you like to do?
I don't trust these people. I don't trust that they actually have a cure. I don't trust that they actually know what they're doing. I don't trust that they won't burn down whatever is left of the world and their mission to try to save humanity. And so as this figure reaches forward, steps behind me, I whistle to have Spike come out from under the porch and try to sweep out his legs from under him.
All right. Would you like to bid a skill to be able to manage this?
Yeah, I
You've
have.
been training with Spike now for 3 months.
Yes. Is the book over here? Because I don't have the card, but I have it's Animal Friendship, I believe.
Okay.
Handling.
I'll let you
Animal
make-
handling is for many, but there's one for like a specific bond that you make with an animal.
It's like page 37.
Yeah, 37.
35.
You whistle, and from under the porch, this ragged mutt bursts out, and it's scrappy and small, and there's a spike of hair across its head and down its back. It's small but fierce as the gray dog leaps across the street towards these individuals. Did you discover what you need?
Yes, animal friendship is just a support to morale. And so it does have that a formation with a named animal cannot be broken, and any command that requires morale to be reduced can be used for free.
Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to have you make a command roll.
Okay.
And we're going to give you one degree of success just to start with.
Cool.
If you roll enough degrees of failure, however, that will be removed.
Scary. Okay,
That's a
16. My command is 33, so
All right.
that's 2 degrees of success already.
Okay.
I'll stay with that,
Is that with the bonus success that I gave you?
Yeah, because 26, then 33.
Okay,
yeah.
great. So you have 2 degrees of success, or you're going to leave it there, because to knock this individual off their feet, you're going to need to hit a critical.
Okay.
There are 7 competency points remaining in the communal pool.
Okay. I will use one of my own and one from the pool.
Okay, so you use that to make that 4 degrees of success, which is a critical success, as Spike barrels across the street and under the foot of this individual just as they're about to tase you. And the individual trips and falls forward. Taser in hand, they just hit the ground. Doesn't seem like that they're wounded in any way. Obviously they're well armored, but they hit the ground, and you're surprised because that individual immediately rolls. And as they roll, they land back on their feet in a defensive martial arts pose, holding the taser in front of them as it crackles. 13, we're going to have to be a little rough.
No fatalities only.
I'm trying to back up.
Tranquilizer preferred.
Affirmative. You have one action before tranquilizers are fired off of the rooftop towards you.
Shit. Okay. I was still looking to Spike, roll and try to break out into a run. So try to duck out of where they would try to shoot at me and then break into a run.
I'll let you make a dodge roll.
Sure.
However, I'm going to add 2 black dice of difficulty because they have a tactical advantage being on the roof and having clear view of you. So with those dice, I'd also like for you to roll a blue speed die, which will determine when you act.
So 2. Dodge.
That's correct.
I had to do shitty at one point, right? Okay, that's a 75 over a 32, so that's 4 degrees of failure. Yes.
Are you going to write out 4 degrees of failure, which is a critical?
No, I am not. I am so afraid, but I am going to use 2 of my own to make it 2 degrees of failure. And there's 6 in the pool?
Currently 6 in the pool. You would need to use 3 of those to be able to turn this into a success.
Yes, I would.
I'm not sure why you're hesitating.
Yeah, fuck it. Yeah.
Oh, man.
Because I still have that last bit of wanting to be helpful and give us all points, but yeah, I don't know.
Well, make no mistake about it. We've just begun, and by the end of the night, if there are no competency points in that pool, things could go very badly.
I'm very aware of that. Yeah, fuck it.
1 degree of success, you barely move out of the way and dart across the street into an alley as the tranquilizer dart hits the ground right at your feet. It was close. You duck around the corner. Without saying anything, Achira, you see that immediately they start to take positions and start charging into Cain's general direction. Do you want to do
My
anything?
orders haven't changed.
All right. They're pursuing you. I'm
Yeah.
going to have you make 3 rolls, and
Okay.
I'll make 3 as well. You have to succeed all 3 to escape.
Fuck. What am I rolling?
You're going to roll your dodge.
Is it
Also-
too late to put points into dodge?
Also, Achira's going to stealth around to flank.
Okay, so you can roll your stealth as you reposition yourself.
No, fuck. I don't have good dodge, and I've already failed my first roll, so
You start running out of the alley down another street around these abandoned buildings, and you see an individual chasing after you. And too late, you realize that that was a distraction as you turn back around and someone punches you in the face as you hit the ground, and you feel the dart in your neck, and everything starts to go dark. What do you want to do as you start
I
to
just want
pass out?
one last. As Cain begins to pass out, she takes in her last very deep breath and calls out with her remaining consciousness, "I thought you were better. I'm disappointed in you." And then she passes out.
As you stealth around Achira, you see a bruise forming on the side of Cain's face, and number 4 dragging your body up.
There's no need for that. Achira does the pack, takes the jacket out, puts it on Cain, zip ties her hands. Remember, they go to the second location,
Affirmative.
separate from the first.
Second location. Understood.
Lets the rest of us get back on mission.
2 of your number, this small cell, this is an extraction team. You don't have an army. This isn't a large unit of forces. This is a highly trained group that has been controlled by Project Nero. They're an extraction group used to pull resources and individuals from the wild. They're very, very good at what they do, and you've been training with them now for the past 3 months. It's been illuminating. Your skill set has fit in with theirs very easily. However, you have also learned how to work with others in a way that you've never done before, Achira. You can't say that you have any particular fondness for the individuals in the cell, but you are able to work with them very well. When you were in the isolated and sterile walls of Steel City, you learned a lot about who you were, about your legacy, about why you are the way you are, and that this wasn't some amazing twist of fate that has brought you here. This was orchestrated. This was built in the shadows, even before the world fell apart. And your father was at the center of all of it. And as you watch for carry Cain to the others, you see a ragged-looking wagon that's disguised to look like a rag-and-bone merchant cart. On the side of it, it says, "No trade. Citadel robbed us," in large numbers. Or letters splayed across it in white paint. All of the wildlings, your children, the wild ones, are placed in the back, including Cain and the unconscious dog Spike, who they have also tranquilized.
Achira looks at this and she starts, well, she's speaking to herself, but it's like she's speaking to Cain. wish this had gone differently. I wanted to tell you about my parents, my father, my brother. Maybe even trade stories about Lampwick. There's so much you don't know, and if I don't, well, you're probably never going to know. But this is bigger than either of us. And I'll keep that in mind. I'll have to now.
13, the ferals have been loaded. We're ready to roll out.
Don't call them that, they're wildlings.
The wildlings are loaded, 13. They're ready to roll out.
Roll out, and let's get back on mission, as Achira then fits her helmet back onto her suit.
As it seals, you hear the radio. The filtration system begins breathing alongside you. 6 specters remain as the other 2 escort your children to the second location. You and the others begin moving towards the brilliant blue explosions in the sky, towards Pine Haven.
We'll get a hold of Lampwick. We'll make all of this right for everyone. I guess my major hope is that the Citadel doesn't get in our way. Let's move out.
Affirmative. There is a small flashing beacon that's placed onto Providence's sealed body. Evac will arrive in 15 to take the asset back to Steel City for dissection.
Be careful with it. But also, if I can get Lampwick to come back, he'll want to interact with it. I know it. So don't dissect it too quickly.
That's above our pay grade, 13.
It's just a strong recommendation anyway. We know what we're all here for.
We'll relay that to command. 4, stay behind. Make sure the asset is correctly handled. Meet us on the road. Affirmative. You and the others leave. Lampwick. There's something faith is more active. The Citadel, those forces that are ahead of you that you see now from a distance, they know your children are coming. The ground 300 feet away explodes as they immediately begin shelling as your swarm spills out of the forest down the mountainous hilltops towards Pine Haven. There's a stretch of open ground. Your hounds, you sense them. There are patrols as well. You're going to immediately encounter resistance.
One of the stalkers, the ones that move really quickly, I'm going to approach. Not all of them moved forward. Some of them have stayed with us. I'm going to approach one of them, and I'm going to I'm going to attempt to do something that I have been trying to do. I'm going to try to speak through it.
I'm going to reach out and try and use your connection.
Mm-hmm.
This has never worked for you before. But you've come close. You know it's possible. You've seen Providence do things that make you believe that somehow the black bile that connects all of you, this virus, interweaves a web that you can speak through. I mean, your feelings are there, your senses are there, your thoughts transmit through them. You must be able to use them to speak. There is something special about a number of your children that you have given attention and fed personally. 4 acolytes that have become your sergeants in this war. 4 acolytes that have guided your children alongside you and have shown a degree of intelligence that has never existed before in any of the dead that you have controlled. One of them, the Pilgrim, has an ability not unlike Providence's. This dead thing has changed and mutated as well. Whereas Clancy is now a lumbering abomination that carries an enormous sledgehammer behind him, the size of 3 regular men. Where Sugar has become more human than you thought possible, intelligent and deadly. Where the Hound has led the Stalkers and become a bestial force at your control, the Pilgrim has a face that has been splayed off of them, a skeletal grin, a skull that has been exposed, and their eyes, black and eager, move about as their teeth constantly clatter, and the sinews of what is left of their face muscles are stretched out like a strange instrument in bone spines that rise around them like the frill of a rattlesnake. The Pilgrim walks towards you through the herd, wrapped in black rags, arms extended like a priest among their flock, walks closer and closer to you. And as they do, you sense their mind, as if you had called them forward. Your intention is known to them. The Pilgrim does not speak, but understands.
I'm going to approach the Pilgrim and get, well, I guess face to face. And I'm going to think. Do you understand me? I need you to reach the other one that looks like this. And I point to the stalker that remained behind. The stalker that's with me. The one I sent out. I need them to speak. I need you to help me make them speak.
The Pilgrim walks closer to you, Lampwick. Hands out towards your face. Do you stop them?
No, I step forward and I say, try it here first. I want to know it works. And I grab their hands and I put it right at my temples.
As you do so, the pilgrim's cold, dead hands are pressed into the sides of your face, and you lose yourself in those dark, black eyes. As you do, make a command roll. I will remind you, given the situation and the forces around you, that you do have some dice that you can use. Do you recall what we said about what white dice can mean for you now?
Oh, yes, I do recall.
Dice of improvement can be utilized based on the troops around you. They represent the force and the stronghold that you stand within. And you can roll 3 of them right now and add that to your roll. You'll deduct it from the amount so that it improves your score.
Is this a feature that is that has limits, a limited amount of uses, or is this situational and this is one of the situations?
Situational.
Okay, well then I will.
You have matched the requirements for it. And as always, there are only 5 numbers on that die. The hunter's symbol is an exploding symbol that then makes you roll again, but it counts as a 5 plus whatever else you roll.
All right, well, it is, well, it's 1 degree of success, but that gets 3 added to it.
So it immediately turns into 4.
It immediately turns into 4.
Which is a critical success. It is as if you are pressing your mind through the pilgrim and out into the ether around you, and you see through the hound's eyes.
I see the one right next to me.
You see yourself and the pilgrim embracing in front of you.
Then that's all I need. I then send that, now that I know that that's tapped in, I send it to the one that's out there that I sent to watch, among the group to watch Faith.
Because of the distance, you will not have your dice of improvement. You will have to roll this with 3 black dice of difficulty given the range. So roll your command once more.
It doesn't matter. Unless they explode like crazy.
That is an exploding die.
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter because you still have 1 success, which means that it's 4 successes.
I had like 6 successes. This is going to be 5.
I feel like you're bragging.
Dangerous.
Hey, look, it's what I'm good at.
Dangerous game to play.
I know, right? I'm content with what he does.
You immediately find yourself embodying the hound that is so far away from you, and you're looking through the hound's eyes as it tracks so close to the citadel. It's gotten through most of the patrols because of its speed, its ability to stealth carefully through the tall grasses. Everything here is wild, so even though it's open terrain, the hound that you're controlling, this bestial stalker, is low, barely humanoid in the way that it moves, and it crawls forward, and you see the fences, and you see the cannons firing one after the other as armed soldiers march. A lot of armed soldiers.
In our direction, I'm assuming.
No. They are forming a protective perimeter around this place, Pine Haven. They don't seem to be moving towards you.
Through the eyes of this creature, I'm going to look up to where that blue light is, the blue star.
The blue star is no longer firing. The sky outside of the artillery shelling is devoid of anything.
I'm gonna head towards that bright light that I believe is Faith.
Through the fence.
Yep.
I need you to make a stealth roll for your beast.
This beast is particularly stealthy, which is why I'm using him. And I'm not, so I would like to know what number I'm trying to meet.
I'd like for you to make a straight roll, and I'll determine how your minion does in this moment.
30.
You make it over the first set of fences. Quickly, with great skill, the stalker leaps and only touches the fence twice, but immediately the electricity pulses through the creature. It doesn't harm it. It doesn't affect it, although you do smell in your own nostrils burning flesh. But in two grasps of this chain link fence, it leaps over and lands there in the interior of the fence as spotlights drop down onto it and gunfire erupts, and your connection is severed, and everything goes dark. Faith, over the radio, you hear Baxter once more. We have an incursion on Sector 5.
Kill it. Whatever
Already
it
dead.
is.
Cleared.
Copy you. Get the body. Bring it in. Make sure the head's cut off.
You hear other clatter from off in the distance, and in a few minutes, a jeep pulls out in front of you. It rattles loudly. These Citadel jeeps have been built and rebuilt, run on biodiesel, clatter loudly, but as it pulls in front of you, two soldiers get off and in the back, like a trophy deer. They pull forth this thing. It doesn't look like a Romero. It has twisted, strange skin, long, clawed fingers. Its head is mostly gone due to the fire of your troops, but what you can see doesn't seem to have a face at all. It seems smooth, like a skull that has elongated, but there are no features that you can see on it. A long spine that curves, and it just lies in front of you, half human, half something else.
I take out my dagger. Poke it a little where the face should be. What are you? Are you related to our little friend, Sugar? Soldier, take this down to research facility. Could be useful.
They quickly remove the body. The shelling continues. You don't hear anything else. No sign of activity on the Eastern Front.
Copy that. Keep an eye out. There could be more. That noise. There's something big out there. Stand guard. And I want at this time to tell the helicopter to be on the ready to go in case there is an incident.
The helicopter has been circling over ever since the Blue Star was fired this evening. It's been scouring the perimeter to ensure that there are no further incursions. You get confirmation that they are on the lookout for anything strange. Your troops begin to hack through the grass with machetes, trying to lower any of the foliage that stretches out close to Pine Haven to ensure that nothing can creep through again. It's a long, arduous job that's going to take the better part of the night and a lot of your resources. If this is completed, Nothing like that should happen again. Not easily, however. Do you wish to have your troops continue, or to just remain on standby?
I have them stop. Stay on standby. That light is so that everyone would come here. We don't have to go to them. Be ready. Save your energy.
As you make this announcement over the radio and you break away, you see the clockwork mechanics of your Citadel force operating with efficiency. I'd like for you to make a single command roll for the evening, and I'll remind you that you have 3 dice of improvement that you can use alongside that roll.
Wow, 6, 7, 13 minus 7 is not a lot. What is that? 6, and then my command is now 55, so.
That's 5 degrees of success without any use of competency points or any other improvements. This is indeed a critical success in this moment. I'm going to increase the fortifications of the Citadel, occupied Pine Haven installation for the night. Any potential risk has been mitigated, and anything trying to make its way through the gate again is going to find it has a very long, hard road ahead of it. However, as you turn, knowing that your work here has been very successful, you see a figure glaring at you. Camilla Cervantes, Cami, now commands a small unit of the remnants of Pine Haven, the community that existed here before Citadel occupation. She absolutely hates you. It's clear in her face. It's a look that used to be reserved only for Riggs. Now you receive it anytime she's within your vicinity. Her child, Rhodes, is carried in a Kevlar armored pack on her back. Her hand, her left hand, lost in an encounter with cannibals, has been replaced with the vicious-looking, jagged machete. On her back, always near her, is her .30-06. She walks towards you.
Is there a problem?
There's always a problem. There's always a fucking problem.
Well, it's the new
Faith.
problem right now, the current problem, please.
They've located Declan.
Oh, that's great news. How's that a problem?
He's been underneath us the whole time.
As you suspected, but where?
Sewer tunnels, access pathway. My people were spread out. They've concealed a number of safe houses. We didn't find it before because, well, they're fucking good at what they do. It just looked like a concrete wall. They've been here long enough to be able to create these little hidey holes. It's not just that. They're tied into our radio comms. They've not only been monitoring, but they've been transmitting to other frequencies. Meaning everything that we've been saying across our radios has been sent somewhere else.
Sons of bitches.
We have what's left of Declan in holding. If you want, you can talk with him, knowing how you and Riggs like to talk to people. I thought it would be best to let you know now.
Well, did you get all the information out of him or not?
I'm not you, Faith.
Well, you use your way then. And if your way gets all the information, then maybe you wouldn't need to ask me to step in.
Fuck you.
Not really into that, but did you get anyone else besides Declan?
When you see him, you'll know why he's alone.
Fine, I'll go down. Good work, Camilla.
Yeah, shove it. She marches off with a few of the remnant people that you knew, had meals with, trusted with your life. There was a small community, and yes, you were starving at the end. But you had a few months where you and Achira and the others actually made this into something. You didn't have the resources that you needed to make it last, but there was a brief moment where it looked like it might happen. Now these people, just like Riggs warned you, they look at you, and while they may respect you, they sure as fuck don't like you. Do you go down and find Declan?
I do.
You move across the Pine Haven complex towards a series of access tunnels that had been converted from the sewer passages that stretch out across this whole area. It's a maze, a labyrinth, and it eventually led you to the location of Blockbuster's safe house. The excavation has been arduous, but fruitful. You've gotten closer and closer, and of course, work has temporarily been put on hold. You move down into one of these access tunnels where Camilla and the others told you to go. You see a number of your soldiers standing in front of a door. There's a large block of what looks like concrete that has been slid out of the way.
Clever bitches. Open the door. Let me in. One of you come with me, one stay out here.
One of the soldiers opens the door and follows you in. You see a rat's nest of wires. Electronic racks, metal, stretched out as far as you can see. Old television monitors, VCRs. Computers. A number of 3-inch discs are stacked high on a desk. There's a flickering light, and you smell the place now. You didn't think it was possible, but it actually smells worse than the sewer. It's fresh. A human filth. There are buckets in the corner that you can only assume have been used recently. And then you see him. The traitor, Declan. Feels like a lifetime ago that he and the others within your own community caused this whole thing to fall apart. But the man that you see is only quite literally half the man that you remember. The left side of his body is mostly missing. No arm, no leg. The right leg ends at the knee. The right hand and arm seem to be well enough. His face is twisted by burns, and he's still wrapped in heavy, heavy bandages, seeping what must be infected wounds that never quite healed. He's in a battery-operated chair that has been kitted out. He looks at you. Well, well, well. Look what the cat dragged in.
Declan, long time no see. You're looking amazing.
I'll have to take you out dancing sometime.
Have you been sitting in this shithole the whole time after you ran away?
Yeah, you know, home is where you hang what's left of your body. I'll tell you though, I've been keeping busy. Don't feel bad for me. I trust things are going well for you and your fascist pig friends.
Declan, I feel like you're misunderstanding the situation here. You got one over on us. Back when it was just me and Achira, a couple of us struggling here together. While you and your little band of techies hid behind our backs looking for this fucking bunker. Now you're basically a quarter of a man, hiding in a hole full of your own shit, and playing with wires. So I need to ask you a couple questions.
Shoot. Or rather, holding one hand up, don't shoot. Just ask the questions or shoot. I'd be real thankful to be put out of this misery anytime you like.
You don't know what misery is yet.
You pretend like I don't live with misery every fucking day, Faith. Look at me. Look at what you made!
You think I did this? If I recall correctly, you were an entire person the last time I saw you, before you betrayed Pine Haven, ruined what we had, started a course of events that made all of this possible. You did this all to yourself. I didn't do shit.
If you just left when you were pushed away, if you'd given up on this place, maybe things would be different for all of us.
Well, there's a lot of ways to point the blame, but I feel like I blame you and Kusanaga's group first.
Yeah. I didn't see it at first. I actually felt real sympathetic for all of you. But look at you now. I tried to convince Kusanagi that we shouldn't kill you, that we should just scare you away. That was a big fucking mistake. One that cost me everything. And so now, you want to stand there, lord over me, flex? You can't scare me anymore. I could barely feel anything. I'm in pain every goddamn moment of my life. So Faith, kindly fuck off and know that I know exactly where I am and I know what's about to happen to me. I just wish you'd get it on with it already.
Why is the bunker so important? I just want to have some answers, some closure to this. I'm not the bad guy here.
Keep telling yourself that, sweetheart.
Well, the real answer is that none of us are good. How about that? That we're all the bad guy.
You got anything to drink?
Sure. I just need you to tell me. Where have you been sending the signals? What's in that bunker? What's so important that you almost killed an entire community that you once trusted?
I heard that meathead Riggs had a really good bottle of whiskey a while back. People talked about it, said that he shared some of it when they came through with all those supplies that you were trading for people.
Maybe. It's possible. I walk over to him. You can still hear, right? You can still hear what I'm saying?
Obviously.
I grab the top of his ear. I start to pull down. The flesh on the ear will rip off with any amount of pressure pulled down onto it. Do you want to keep hearing?
I have one question for you. Do you pull the ear off, or are you just causing immense pain?
It's just halfway now.
You feel the pus running down your gloved hand as you rip this ear halfway off. I'd like for you to make an intimidation roll.
That's 1 degree of success.
There are 7 competency remaining in the pool. Do you wish to use them to intimidate Declan? More than just 1 degree of success.
Yes, so I'll take 2 from my own, and then I'll take, wait, what did I say? 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 1 from the communal. So it's 4 total.
Critical success. All right, fuck! I'll tell you exactly what you want, just stop! None of this cat and mouse shit, okay? I get it. You're a badass now. I'm gonna tell you whatever you want, and then you're gonna probably fucking kill me anyway. All I want is a drink of whiskey before I go, but you probably aren't going to give that to me anyway. You're probably going to force feed me in my own piss. Why were we transmitting? Well, it's too fucking late now, Faith. I might as well tell you. There are many of us. We're the ones that you always forget about. Ones you don't see, pay much attention to. Ones that fix your cars, fix your radios, make everything work. Enough of us. We can shut this whole place down, all of it. And you've been doing exactly what you were supposed to. When we couldn't get rid of you. When we couldn't send you away. Fuck. Blockbuster had caved the whole fucking thing in. It's a cosmic fucking joke. Didn't intend for anybody to get to it. Anybody who didn't have an army to dig it out. Who have I been transmitting to? You know. The man with the plan. Kusa-fucking-nagi.
And where is he?
You'll find out soon enough. I don't know. We don't work that way. We don't leave loose ends.
It's a shame.
Yeah.
Could have gotten you that whiskey.
Well, if I knew, I would tell you anyway.
I really doubt that, actually. Goodbye. And I stab him in the throat.
He locks eyes with you. His jovial bullshit immediately drops. As you think he didn't really believe you were going to do that. And the life leaves his eyes as you stare at him. Dale, I was wrong about you. You just might do this.
Take the body away.
He slumps forward, and as he does, you see him hit a button on his chair. We'll be right back. Faith, Declan's dead body slumps down, and as it does, you see his hand strike a button on the chair that you didn't see before. Nothing immediately happens. And then you hear the crackle of a radio. Oh, Faith.
Who the fuck is this?
You were asking for me. I'm here now.
Huh.
Talk. It's Kusanagi. Don't you remember me?
To be honest, I met you for, that one tiny adventure, so... Your face, no, not really. Your name, however, you've gotten quite popular around here, it seems. What brings you to the party now?
The radio crackles and you can hear him from the other side. Well, you just took out my number 2, and now I guess I'm gonna have to look for a new one. Declan was useful, but frankly, unpredictable. It's hard to find good help, you know. And so, we're looking to recruit. There's so many people within your walls now, Faith. You just let everybody in, don't you?
We are trying an approach that's new for the Citadel, thanks to me. We're just trying to be humanity, Kusanagi. Listen, whatever you want in that bunker, if if it's so important, if there's so much of whatever it is in there, can't we just make a deal?
I'm listening. I mean, I've been here, listening the whole time.
Well, Declan let me know that apparently I've been helping you all along. Anyway, getting the Citadel to dig out the bunker for you. We're almost there. Wouldn't you like to see it?
What are you offering?
Well, what I'd really like is for you to stop fucking with the Citadel and with Pine Haven. We're just trying to live. This whole bunker thing, I didn't even know it fucking existed. Achira brought it up, started looking for it. It was sort of, honestly, I always felt like it was one of Achira's pet projects. And it seems like it's gotten us into a whole lot of trouble. Well, there's other things to be worrying about. So, if you stop fucking with us, I will let you have access to it. You and me. Take a look, split things up. I feel like that's more than fair. We did all the work.
That's really, really tempting, Faith. However, I think we're way beyond that. You had your opportunity.
To run? I don't fucking run, Kusanagi.
Well, if self-preservation isn't in your heart, I can't help you. However, now that we're talking, I want you to understand something. What the Citadel did to me, what they've done to so many other people throughout the years, in the name of protection, of security, of fucking solidarity, unification, reclamation, words that mean nothing to the meathead that ran the fucking place. Everything you stand for is a lie. You are a lie. A poser in combat boots. Barking orders to a herd of sheep.
Kusanagi, I know you're trying to hurt my feelings, but I've just got one thing to say to you. There's no good and bad in this world. You're either alive or you're dead. I tried to do it the humane way, to let everyone have a fucking say. You know what happened? The minute they got a little fucking hungry, they decided to turn on other humans. It's the nature of humankind. We can't escape it. So if it's gonna be like that anyway, shouldn't there be some order to it? Shouldn't someone be in control who understands how this works? I've tried both ways, Kusanagi. I am trying to build a community here. I'm trying to let people in, but you can't give them all the freedoms. It just ends.
Are you trying to convince me or yourself, Faith? It sounds like maybe you don't believe everything that you're saying. Look, you're right. I want that bunker. I'm gonna take that bunker. And the only reason I'm talking to you right now is to stall and buy time. So fuck you, Faith. Fuck you, fuck Riggs, fuck the Citadel, fuck your good and evil. The only thing that does matter is survival. We actually agree. I hope you prepared your sheep for the slaughter. Because we're coming. And everything that we bring with us. Good night, Faith.
Come and get me, Kusanagi! Fuck you!
There's a clatter of the radio as it begins to smoke and just sort of falls apart. The soldier behind you is rightfully terrified.
I get on the comms. This line is not secure. This is your leader, Faith. We are about to be infiltrated by an opposing organization trying to get to the bunker. Secure that area, secure our walls, be ready for a human invasion, but also be prepared. There's Romero's out there still. Lock everything down. This is a code red.
Confirmation comes through the radio. And then you hear it. Tiptoe through the tulips, through the tulips, through the tulips with me. Why don't you tiptoe through the tulips? As the radio begins to fill with hideous, scratchy, distorted music. Every channel, you flip through them all. Your comms are completely down.
I exit the room. The soldiers that are in the hall, I bring them with me. I try to head out towards the main area, the courtyard.
There are contingencies. This isn't something that the Citadel and you haven't expected from time to time, where you'd have to go into radio silence. It's not optimal, but you know that there are signal lights on the watchtowers. You'll be able to communicate through Morse code. Your troops are probably already undertaking a series of defensive maneuvers to place the entire installation on lockdown. However, easy radio communication and communication out to the Citadel as a whole, outside of Pinehaven, is now fully and completely gone. You make your way back up, and we'll come back to you, Faith. Cain, you don't know how long you were out, but you have a horrid, painful headache when you open your eyes next. It feels like your head has been squeezed in a vice. You see the others lying out around you.
Are we, can I get a sense of where we are? What kind of location?
Where did you send them, Achira?
Well, I had, in Achira's mind, they were going to a bunker on a timed lock that would release them after a day.
Fair enough.
But it was 2 separate locations, but it can just be one.
Half of the others are with you.
Okay.
You've got Bebe, TV, yourself. I'm going to say that that's all, actually. Just
Okay.
you, Bebe, and TV, and the others aren't here. And Spike is here as well. You wake up, you see them, you see concrete cinder block walls. Everything is very clean. There are a couple of cots. There are strange wrapped metallic bundles of food stacked on one of the tables here. The tables are bolted to the ground. There are no chairs. There are vents that are very small, and you can smell fresh air coming in from them. You think you're still above ground, although it's night. You hear crickets somewhere in the distance, though it's very, very subtle. There's a large door, and there's a green and red blinking light that turn on and off in sequence. Bebe rubs their eyes as they also pull themselves out. TV is still unconscious, as is Spike.
Baby. And I make a hand signal that I can't hear. Can you try to get TV up while I check things out?
Without saying a word, Bebe signals to you with her hands. Absolutely, yes. And goes to TV and sits them up against the wall. There are canteens of water, and very carefully, Bebe pours some out and puts her hand in it and smells it, and then just cautiously tastes it, and then gives some of it to TV.
And I'm gonna go check out that door and those flashing lights. I've gotten slightly more used to technology, but I don't spend time around it, so I need to get a closer look to get an idea of what's happening here.
Well, it seems to be some form of a lock or locking device. It's more complicated than anything that you've seen, as is this door. It's very new, and it looks like it's been inset into the structure. I'd like for you, if you would like, to make a roll to be able to determine more of it, if you would like to.
Sure
It's
thing.
digital systems.
Motherfucker.
For those of you not in the know, there was some alterations made to the character sheet today.
I looked at Nox and I said, Nox, I'm a wild child and I've never used the digital system in my fucking life. Can I move some points? And Nox said, yeah.
Because you never used the skill.
Because I'd never used the skill.
And then you rolled a
then I rolled a
98.
98.
That's 5 degrees of failure as you're inspecting the lock. You know exactly how to disarm it.
Oh, great. How?
You just need to take a piece of metal and short it out. If you just jam it into the side of it, that should work.
Oh my god. I look up to the vents and I look at the pieces of metal that probably are over top it, and unless there's any other like metallic thing in the room, I'm gonna try to...
I mean, you don't have your basic equipment with you. Your clothing, everything else that you were wearing,
Yeah.
including pins and buttons and things, are still on you and the others. Things that have been salvaged, things from the world before that were
and
sort
I'm
of
wearing
trophies.
that jacket, aren't I? Yeah.
You're wearing the new jacket, not the old. You're wearing the jacket that Achira left you.
Can I? Is this failure locking me into this course of action, or can I do something else?
What would you like to do?
My line of thinking as Cain, not understanding this thing at all, just being like, oh, I have to short this out. I think a good punch, if I, patted my hand enough.
Absolutely. A good punch would short it out as well.
Yeah. So I take off the jacket and I wrap it around my hand and I just try to slam it into the...
All right. I'd like for you to make a brawl roll for me against the door.
Abso-fucking-lutely. I think that's my brawl up there. My, can I see where it is on yours?
Second
Because-
from the left.
Amazing. Mine is cut off a little bit. Okay, it's not great, but... All right, everyone, let's punch a door. Okay. That's a 66, which is a failure.
Would you like to ride out those 4 degrees of failure?
That's another critical failure, if I'm correct.
And most likely a broken
And
hand.
most likely a broken hand. So I wouldn't like to do that, actually. I'd like to use 2 of my own and 3 from the pool to bring that to 1 success.
All right. There are now 3 competency points remaining in the pool as you have mitigated this punch against this door. Does that bring you to 1 success or just to
1
a
success.
wash? Okay, 1 success. You don't break your hand. You also don't open the door.
Fuck.
However, the lights are no longer blinking.
Upgrades. Okay. I look back. Is TV awake?
TV's awake, and he's holding his head in his hands as Bebe is sort of bringing him back around and nursing him. Spike now, you see, kind of pulls himself up and stumbles for a moment and then sees you and immediately runs to you.
Down to my knees, just kind of check him over, make sure he's okay, and then give him a little bit of love.
He licks your face lovingly.
Good boy. Okay. Listen up. Obviously, neither of you were awake, but Achira's with them. She was talking about some kind of cure, of course, because when are they not talking about some way to fight and kill each other, some excuse that they can blame on the world ending, of course. We gotta get out of here, because they are going to let more people die.
How do we do that? TV asks.
We gotta short out this door. I tried punching it. That didn't seem to work very well.
Seems pretty big brain to me.
Thank you, TV. Okay, I look up to the vents and I see that they're too small to get through, but maybe I can pry them open and use something from them.
All right.
And I'm gonna have Bebe check out the packs as I do that.
I'd like for you to make a single roll as you begin to dismantle anything and everything that you can inside of this concrete bunker to try and escape.
Fuck it up.
I think we're going to call this, I'm going to call this a survival roll, and it is an advanced skill.
Survival.
For you to really be able to salvage something here that would be of use, it's going to take a decent roll for survival.
Okay. And I still roll these for survival, correct?
You do.
Damn.
I will actually allow you one white die
That's
for a dice of improvement because you do
gonna
have
make it better.
2 individuals that are supporting you in this.
Yeah. For all of you at home, my survival is a 6. We're gonna do great. Okay.
You've rolled a 16.
Come
You'll
on,
have to-
explode it!
12.
12. That's only one
Really
degree
one
of
degree of
failure.
failure.
Yes.
That's pretty good, y'all.
There are 3 competency points remaining in the communal pool.
Okay. One of my own, one from the pool.
To make it 3 degrees of success.
Oh, 3 degree. I
Oh,
think
I'm
it'd just
sorry,
be
you
one.
You had 1 from the pool, 1 from your own, and you got 1 degree of failure. So that brings it up to 1 degree of success.
Yes.
Do you wish to spend more than that or just have it be 1 degree of success?
God. Let's just let it ride at 1 for now.
You've pulled one of the grates off. It's taken you hours. You had to use a pin that was on one of your friend's jackets to be able to slowly remove screws. You have 4 screws, a 3-inch by 4-inch metal grate, and a hole that leads into what looks like a concrete passageway that turns immediately. And you feel air coming through it, but you can't actually see out.
Definitely way too small for me to get into.
It's too small for even Spike to get through.
Okay. All right. Brainstorm.
They kick and punch the walls. They try to find their way out. There's nothing to do here. And so hours pass, and I'm going to determine how many. 4 hours pass, and you're locked within these walls. There is light here. It's pale, flickers. There must be a generator somewhere, small, most likely, or some sort of battery powering it. But you do have a little bit of light. TV has eaten the food. It's some weird green paste and a block of strange smelling fermented plant matter. He seems to like it and eats a healthy amount of it. Bebe doesn't eat it all but paces. Spike is snuggled in a corner, sleeping. What are you doing?
Just using that vent metallic piece and trying to jam it into the space where I could conceivably think that a latch would be.
You're trying, but you're failing.
Yeah.
You're just hurting yourself. You've scraped up your hands and your knuckles, and you're raging against this door that Achira's put you behind. It's clear to you now, there's no easy escape from here.
Fuck. Throw down the piece.
4 more hours pass. Do you stay awake? The others seem to finally have given up and are sleeping.
I think that I'm just too... I feel a lot of guilt right now. That I took my people into something that ended up being fruitless and useless. And I don't think I can sleep. I don't know if I'm doing anything productive, but I don't think I can sleep.
Sound. Digital beeping coming from the door.
Can't hear it though, can I?
You can't, but the others can. You see Spike is awake now and barking at it. You don't know what's happening. TV looks at you, rubbing sleep from his eyes, and he signs to you silently. Summon door.
The door is... Shit! And I get us back into a corner in formation with myself at the front.
You grab everyone. You make a formation there in the back. Spike is hard to control, but you've trained him now over the course of these months and just growls, staying close to you as the door opens. It's dark outside. You see the light that's above the door has gone out.
Is this form person in any way familiar to me?
Tall, lanky, jagged. You recognize this form, Polly. It's Kusanagi.
What are you doing here?
He moves like a broken scarecrow. 2 people following after. Holding in his hands a lead pipe. The 2 individuals behind him have what look like automatic rifles. They're lowered in the moment. As he steps into the light, TV steps in front of you, pushing you back, Cain.
I
Bebe
let TV do it, yeah.
moves forward and to the left, trying to flank the individuals as they enter in. Spike is growling protectively in front of you, ready to charge on your word. You see Kusanagi now, and you had forgotten over these months how hideous Riggs had left him. You see the tattered remains of his cheek and his teeth visible in that pale light. The horribly stitched together scars that line the face, staples across the head, where an entire patch of his head doesn't sit quite right. His body is a network of scars, horribly healed together. Parts of his skin look like they had been completely flayed off, and this ragged man, who last you met tried to kill you when you wouldn't convert and change, when you wouldn't betray Pinehaven, steps forward.
Stop.
He stops.
I can't hear you. But I don't know what you want here or how you got here, but we don't have any trouble with you.
I think you and I have business to discuss.
Weird question.
Yeah.
Is it more difficult to read Kusanagi's lips?
I would say you probably only caught about half of that. But Bebe, across the room, signs to you. And as you glance over, you see the translation. While it's rough from what Kusanagi said, you think he wants to talk.
If it's the same thing you approached me about before, I am still not interested.
I assume you aren't interested. But I'm not giving you a choice. Grab them. Lampwick.
This dude's batshit insane, man.
You've lost control. You've lost the signal. The pilgrim releases your face. Your hands are in front of you now as his hands were on yours. The two of you holding onto each other in a mirrored moment. You had formed some sort of conduit and bond that allowed you to amplify your will into the dead.
I want to try again. I want to try something different. I'm going to take the pilgrim's hands and put them on my temples again. And I'm going to reach out to see if I can sense beyond my hive. I know there's others. I want to see if I can sense any beyond the trajectory that we've been pushed down. See if I can sense the mother or any other hives heading towards Pinehaven, towards that blue star.
I'd like for you to make a spot listen roll. You can use 3 dice of improvement because of your herd around you. Using the dead as an amplification to your abilities and the abilities of the pilgrim, you send your will out.
So that's 3 degrees of success.
If you had 4, it would be a critical success.
Oh.
Listen, I've been using them.
Listen, I'm gonna do that. So how many do we have in the pool?
6 currently.
6?
Oh, thanks, y'all.
I'll take one of those. Thank you.
With a critical success, you reach far beyond the limits of what you've ever experimented with before back in Babylon. You feel wind around you as you realize you're in the sky, embodying a dead raven as it circles Pinehaven. The bright lights and noise of an enormous helicopter rush past you. You aren't in control. It's as if you're riding in the back seat, watching through this window of perception.
I'm gonna try to take note of anything that I can see around. If I can't make a suggestion to the Raven at this point, I'm just gonna try to take as much in as I can.
The Raven goes higher and further away, and as it does, it continues to fly in circles around the general vicinity. You sense something coming from the south.
Is that the opposite direction that I'm coming from?
Yes.
So I'm coming from the north and
The
this is
north and
something
the
else.
east. This is coming from the south. It's... I need you to make a composure roll.
Okay. Holy shit. Any dice?
You have no dice of improvement because you're so far away from your swarm in this moment.
Okay.
Your consciousness is so far away. You're lucky I
Fuck.
didn't add dice of difficulty, but I don't need to. You just rolled a 97.
I sure did. Okay, no, that's bad.
I would say it's catastrophic. That's 5 degrees of failure.
I can't let that happen. I'm gonna need to use 6 competency points because I can't.
6 competency points from the communal pool.
Well, there aren't 6 left, so I'm gonna use 3 from the communal pool
Leaving 2.
and 3 of my own.
You make me feel good about myself, Luis.
Oh, well, damn.
I'm literally the only one that has in this game.
My God. To make that a success.
A single success.
Yeah.
Someone else sees you. Senses you. You're sure of it.
Uh-huh.
You know that. You don't know who. Very powerful, though. This wave washes over you as you realize you've lost control of the bird.
Fuck. Shit.
It's flying away from you. And as it does, your will gets sort of stretched thin, and everything starts to go dark.
I disconnect if I can.
You can't. Something won't let you. Something's holding on to you, trying to pull you closer.
I'm gonna resist with whatever I can. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna turn it around on that. I'm gonna gather everything, every ounce of will and strength and any energy that I have, and I'm gonna boomerang that. I'm gonna impose my will on whatever the fuck that is, and just demand that it relinquish control, and I just call out through my mind out into the ether, "Be gone!"
Make an intimidation roll. You have 3 black dice of difficulty.
Damn. It's not a command roll.
No, it's an intimidation roll.
I just rolled a 1. Should I roll these?
You should roll them, but you still roll the 1.
Come on, no.
You really wanted
none.
to be scary.
So that's still, well, but, so that is
10 total.
10 total, and my skill does not apply to intimidation, so that is 3 degrees of success. But I'm gonna take. Are there only 2 left? How many are left in the communal pool?
There are 2.
2.
That would be
Oh, yeah, do it. Go for it.
Oh fuck! I'm gonna
a
take.
critical success.
I'll take 1 to make it 4. 1 of my own. I can't.
So 5 total?
No. I'm gonna. Yeah, 1 of the communal pool and 1 of mine.
5 total,
5 total.
making it a critical success. You rage against whatever has tried to insert its will in your domain, and you break free. The bird stops. Its animation fails. The black bile inside of it explodes outward as feathers and gore pepper the sky, and your consciousness lands right back where it belongs, right next to the pilgrim, amongst your swarm. You know that with 5 degrees of success, you actually sent a wave of something back. And whoever did that felt something else. Your power.
We're running out of time. Did I, while I was in the Raven, so I know there was something coming from the south. Did I send that was another horde, a hive, or some, did I get, was I able to determine whether it was a singular thing or more? I don't know. I'm just trying to make sense out of anything that I experienced.
It was a lot. A lot of the energy that you feel here through the black bile, the connectivity that you have with everything around you, this, your children, all of it. Something more than that is coming from the south.
And I'm in the north.
And you're in the north. And in between you both lies Pine Haven. And you see the Citadel occupation in front of you as something's changing amongst their ranks. They seem to be on alert. You see red lights and you see flashes. Rhythmic, back and forth between the towers. Does Lampwick understand Morse code?
Lampwick has never, unless someone that he was traveling with taught him, he was never.
You recognize it, but
military.
you don't know it.
Mm-mm.
You always had others do that for you.
Yep.
You always relied on those that you traveled with to be able to understand these signals. But you know what it is. And for whatever reason, they're no longer communicating over the radios. You're sure of it. They're communicating amongst themselves through a series of lights.
Fuck. Something's happening. I don't know what they're communicating. If I had Marcus here, he would have known. So, I'm gonna send my stalkers that I sent forth. I'm not ready to approach. Seeing how they took out the one that I had infiltrate, I'm gonna keep the other ones around the perimeter, and I want to kind of fan them out. I want to see if they can help me get a sense of what might be happening inside. If there's panic, if there's momentum or movement, just any sense of it. And do I have Jacob here? I'm any of the living from Babylon.
Did you bring them with you?
I think I would have brought everybody.
Then, yes. You have the others with you. All of them. Everyone within Babylon has come. Eunice, Eva, and Jacob are your living acolytes that follow you and serve you.
And Eunice and Eva are grown. Older, right?
Adults,
And Jacob is young.
no more than 10.
I'm gonna go up to Jacob. And I'm gonna get down to his level.
Yes, Father.
Jacob, I'm so sorry, but I need something from you. Something is coming from the south. It's bad. I sense it. I don't know who's inside of Pine Heaven anymore, but I know that some people that I once knew are there. I need you to carry a message to them. I can't get close. None of us can. You're the only one. You're the only one that might not scare them to the point where you will get killed immediately. Can you do this for us?
Father, you have saved us all. You guide us and protect us. We would do anything for you. You are my Father, and if you ask it, I will do it.
I kind of pat his head, muss up his hair a little bit, and I take a few moments to, Jacob, I need something to write with, and I don't know, I don't have that. I know you might.
I do not, Father.
I'm looking around.
You're in the wilderness, surrounded by the dead. There are rags, rotten, clinging to some of your children.
I'm gonna tear one off. Tear some rags off of someone. And I'm gonna... I'm gonna take some... Fuck it. It's all I have. I'm gonna take... Forgive me, Jacob. It can't be mine. They'll know what it is.
Eunice steps in front of Jacob. Let me serve you, Father.
So be it. Take your knife. You know what I need.
Eunice
Just enough.
gratefully kneels before you and does what you ask, giving you ample blood to write with.
From the knife that she used, I'll use that as my pen. And I'm gonna write something on these rags, and once I'm done, I'm gonna fold them up and I'm gonna hand them to Jacob. This needs to get to Faith.
How will I know who she is?
She's probably the one in charge.
I'll take this message, Father. Thank you.
Thank you, Jacob. Be safe. I'll find you.
I have no need for safety, Father. You've already saved us all. And Jacob walks off down the road out of the herd from the forest alone. This small, pale child starts to walk towards the gates of the citadel. Faith, there's a signal. It's to let you know that there's an unknown approaching the gate. It doesn't seem hostile. What are you doing when this happens? Where are you at in the Citadel? What has your fury led you to?
I have been either personally or with other soldiers in tow and telling them to do so, going to each section of Pine Haven and giving them orders manually. So basically reiterating everything I said over the radio, securing all entry points, as well as basically watching the areas for the underground. So where we were digging for the bunker, where we found Declan, just getting all those orders out, basically. Once that's done, I would position myself probably center of courtyard on something tall, so I have eyes, so I can signal up to people who are operating the towers, signal to the snipers. Anybody that needs to talk to me has to come to me. I don't leave that area.
You've already critically succeeded at a command role earlier, but the situation has changed. So I feel as though I need to require a new command role from you, as you have directed your troops towards new motives, new missions. You do have 3 dice of improvement as well. You are well armored, you are surrounded by your people, and you are within your own citadel, fortress, Pinehaven.
45 minus 9 is 36 under a 55. So it's 2
degrees of success. Do you wish to just ride 2 degrees of success? We do have 5 points of competency in the pool.
Got any more, Kia? I'll take 2 from the communal pool.
There are 3 remaining, making this a critical success.
Yeah.
The orders are expertly followed, which means that I have to deal with something else. Achira, if you were given a way in, would you and the Spectres take it?
Achira's trying to connect with Lampwick. That is the mission. A small contingent from the Spectres could, if there was a way in, but the main mission is to connect with Lampwick.
All right, so your recon from the Spectres that have been working just ahead of you and the others as you travel closer to Pinehaven, the radio comes back to you. 13, we have a large herd of the dead. This horde is massive. They're displaying all the indications that they're under the influence of one of the hyper-infected. They're not moving. Hundreds of them are standing.
Is this the same horde that we have been corralling towards Pinehaven?
Affirmative. They have increased in numbers along the way, but the herd from Babylon seems to be here.
And they're not attacking. They've stopped.
That's affirmative. They're not moving. They're just standing there.
I'm gonna have to make contact then.
I'm going to spend 100 risk. Currently, I had 250. I'm now down to 150.
So with you...
You're in a location hazard.
Figured. What the plan is to capture one of the dead from the back of the horde, not hurt it, but bind it, and I would talk to it, trying to reach Lampwick so that we could parlay.
Some of the Spectres are attempting to fulfill your mission. It seems pretty straightforward. The horde of the Romeros scatters out towards the end of the forest line, and some of them are straggling behind, usually because they have grievous wounds that they don't notice, obviously, but they just pull themselves forward. There are members of the dead with outlawed bodies that are just dragging themselves along the ground. And Spectre 7 returns to you with half of a zombie.
The top half, I hope?
Yes, the top half.
Okay. tying that to a tree and tying its neck around, but leaving its jaw free. Turning the voice modulator off. Lampwick. Lampwick, it's Achira. I have something very, very important to discuss with you. Can you hear me?
Lampwick, make a command roll.
It's 66 over 69, so that is one success. That
You
turns
can
into-
also roll your 3 dice of improvement, given that you are amongst your people.
Sure, it's 4 degrees of success so far. And I don't think that makes it
Yeah,
more.
it doesn't make it 5, but
No.
you are at 4 degrees of success. As you're watching Jacob leave, the pilgrim stops and turns the opposite direction. And looks at you and reaches out a hand.
I take it. And I start to step forward. I turn towards the direction. And as I do that, I take it. I take their hand and I put it on my forehead. And if nothing happens, then I'll just take their other hand and connect like I have been around my temples.
You place the pilgrim's hands on either side of your head, and then everything goes dark. And then you're seen through the eyes of one of your children. You're up against a tree, everything is fuzzy, it's hard to see. This corpse is very badly damaged. In the blur, you hear a muffled sound.
Lampwick, it's Achira.
Achira.
I want to meet with you. There's something very important that we need to discuss. Do you You remember me, right? Not
Yes.
just my name.
Yes. I can hear you.
Show me your face.
Achira backs up and takes off her helmet.
I remember. Achira. Come closer so that I can hear you.
Instead, Achira talks louder.
It's been so long.
You're watching all of this, Lampwick, but someone else is controlling
No.
the dead.
Can I? Do I have a sense of just this one that I'm seeing through being controlled, or do I have a sense of the ones around me also? Or can I not determine that?
It's an insidious slimy and slick feeling. Whatever this is, it's hidden and close and able to move unseen amongst your people. This is something new. Achira, I see you.
I'm gonna try to regain control of this.
Make a command roll. There are 9 competency points currently in the pool.
Really good, because I need them. I'm gonna use, that is, I rolled a 96 over a 69. Is that 2 degrees of failure or 3?
Palindrome 69.
Yes.
Isn't that
I'm gonna,
3?
I think it's,
You have 3 degrees of failure.
Yeah.
and there's 9 in there. I'm taking 4. I'm sorry. And thank you, chat. I'm
You
taking 4,
Take 4 and make it 1 degree of success.
which will make it 4.
4 degrees.
I'm taking, no, I need this to be 5. I'm taking 5 from chat.
Someone else has critically succeeded as well. Whatever it is fighting against you, you've taken all but 3 from chat or from the competency.
I took 5 from chat. There's 4 left.
4
so
left.
Mine became 5 successes.
This is a draw.
Fuck. What do we do now? Another contest?
The
Can I,
gonna try to
corpse,
push
can I do
further.
a sway here?
Achira, what would you like to do? Let me tell you what happens, and that might color what you decide. The body in front of you, because of this contest of wills that's happening inside of it, begins to jolt. And black bile starts to pour out of every orifice that's remaining on this corpse. One of the specters behind you has a gun raised at it.
Yeah. Achira starts saying to this corpse that seems to be, she doesn't understand what's going on, but it's a lot. And in her head, then she's seen Lampwick struggling with his mortality, his humanity before, and she's thinking that maybe it's that. So she has to remind him of his humanity. What?
Yeah.
Using one of my matches.
You can use a match. You only have 3.
I know. But this is a very dire moment.
If you use that match, you need to tell me how you're reminding Lampwick of his humanity before I'll give it to it.
Okay. Achira starts talking to Lampwick about their time in Sullivan Town, when they're standing in the rain, when they realized that, I believe it was Omar's body had been taken, and they didn't know it yet, but was off being transformed by Mother Hodge. And in that rain, when Lampwick was practically begging Achira to just end him now. He was bitten, and she said that was when the promise was made, that when there's no more of you left, then I will do everything in my power to take you out. But if there is any of you left in there, we are on each other's side. And she starts reminding him of that moment in the rain when the promise was made.
You have 2 matches. If you do not correctly light this now,
Fuck.
if the match goes out or is
Or I fuck it up.
got this, you
impeded
got
in any
this.
way, the match is wasted.
My hands are shaking.
What if it goes
Do you want me to
do
it? You don't get second tries.
Come on, buddy. Light up.
Also too short.
Like, drop it in there.
I know, right? What if I drop it in there? Will it like turn into a big... It's lit.
Okay.
God.
You lose yourself for a moment, Outbreak. In the deep black abyss, you stop existing. For just a moment. You see the void of eternity.
Fuck.
You're thrust into it. Someone or something that you were fighting against, flipped a switch. You have a weakness. You realize that so clearly now.
Fuck. I know the direction that Achira's in. I know how far away. I mean, this was like at the end of the pack. Fuck. Lampwick knows that Achira's there, knows that something wrong is happening. I start to run towards Achira. And I try to take my horde, some of them with me, to protect me.
As you do. Struggle is broken as you run away from the pilgrim. Achira, I remember now. I'm so sorry. We made a promise.
Can I do a detect motives?
Absolutely.
Okay, that's I have a 35 for detect motives, and I rolled a 38. So is that
It's
technically a wash?
It's a single.
Because it's within 10 degrees?
It's still a failure, but it is technically a wash.
Okay.
All you need to do is tip it into the success range, depending on how much you want to succeed by.
How many competency points do we have in the
4.
Okay, since it's a wash, I'll use 3 of my own, and 1 of the communities,
All right. The
which will
communal
make
pool
it 4.
makes it a critical success, which is what you needed.
Okay.
To truly, from this ragged corpse, it's hard to tell. Something in your gut tells you this isn't Lampwick.
Shoot at 8.
And just as a long tendril shoots forth from the mouth of the corpse towards you, the silencer causes its head to explode against the tree, and the tentacle falls limp right at your feet, a jagged spine on the end of it.
Something else is in play here. Something else. I think Lampwick's gonna need our help as much as we need his. We might even need the Citadel's help on this one, and I'd rather not even go there. Let's move out.
13, do you truly feel that this mission can be accomplished?
It has to be. Without one of the super evolved, without one that can be amenable to our cause, to the cure, then we might as well withdraw and let them stamp themselves out, and I'm not going to let that happen. Not when we're this close. Not when Not when I think if Lampwick's out here too long, he's gonna lose what's left of himself. And that doesn't help us or anyone.
Affirmative. We'll stay on target.
Let's change direction, though. If we got through to Lampwick, he'll be coming. But we got through to something else, and it might be coming too. Full stealth.
The team breaks away. They begin doing what they do best, disappearing like ghosts. The specters fade back into the forest as your mission continues, even past this failure. And then the explosions start. Faith, signals on the wall are clear. They're sending in boomers, just like they did before. You're watching, one by one, the dead, amplifiers tethered to them, the horrid music, discordant, breaking the silence of the night with this ragged blast of chaos. But they carry with them so much more. C4 strapped to each of these corpses, and they're aimed right at the fences. The first fence is holding out. Your troops are still doing their best to shoot them down before they get to it. They drop them. The first few of them broke through. What do you do?
I send hand signals to those towards the tower to send a signal to the helicopter to start sending down fire at the groups of Romeros coming in from outside of the gate. Everything that's happening inside of the gate, I just start yelling commands and hope that the chain of yelling, of command yelling, goes all the way through. We're going to just have the grounded infantry attack them, as well as snipers who are still up on the high walls, try to slow them down. In the meantime, if they get any closer, if any more barriers get broken, we back away from them, and we head back into Pinehaven, sort of away from the courtyard.
You redirect your troops. They're moving as you had ordered before. You're still riding off of that critical success. That's not what I need you to focus on, though, Faith. I need you to make a detect motives roll.
It's been a great day, everybody. That's a 14 over 25.
Damn.
That's 1 degree of success. We got in the pool 4.
You have 4 remaining in the pool,
I'll pull 3.
making it a critical success,
Yep.
which is what you needed for this. Everything, all of the generated lights of Pinehaven immediately shut off in a complete blackout. Everything is dark. And you realize in that moment that there's only one person capable of doing that. Sergeant Baxter, your comms officer. Clearly, his loyalty is no longer with the Citadel.
I just scream into the night. Kill Sergeant Baxter on sight! We're gonna get these fuckers. Prepare for invasion.
Immediately, your troops fall in line. You have been bruised this day. You have been battered. Their makeshift flashlights begin to glare across the night. They gather themselves. Your troops pull themselves into readiness. As two hordes of the dead appear on the horizon, one to the north and one to the south. Cain. You're in the back of a ATV. It shakes wildly, pulling you back and forth as you roll. Your hands have been zip-tied behind you. Your legs have been similarly bound and then both tied together. Bebe, TV, they're with you. In a cage, hanging from the side of this vehicle, Spike whines as he shakes back and forth.
Fuck with my dog, don't you?
The techs are in the driver's seat. You see 5 of them. There's a lot of equipment in the front and antennas hanging off the back of this thing. Good morning, sunshine. Sleep well.
What do you want?
From you.
And speak very clearly.
From you. I want you to shut up.
Spit.
You spit forward and he raises his hand and you hit him right in the eye. Night, sweetheart. Butt of a rifle hits you in the head and everything goes dark again. And that's where we're going to leave it tonight.